Before Europe drew a single border across Africa, before the ships, before the maps, before the history books decided which kings were worth remembering, a woman ruled an empire in the heart of what is now Nigeria. She commanded an army of 20,000. She built walls that still stand 400 years later. And when the men around her told her it was time to marry, to hand her power to a husband, she gave them an answer that changed history. She chose war. Her name was Amina of Zazzau, and the world was made to forget her. To understand how rare she was, you have to understand what she was supposed to be. Amina was born around the year 1533 in the city-state of Zazzau, a wealthy Hausa kingdom in the northern reaches of modern Nigeria. Her mother was Queen Bakwa Turunku, a ruler in her own right, who built Zazzau into one of the richest trading hubs in the region. So Amina grew up inside power. But in the 16th century, a princess had one job: to secure an alliance through marriage, produce an heir, and step aside. Amina had other plans. And here's the first thing that made her dangerous. While the other royals learned court etiquette, Amina learned the sword. By the time she was 16, she was named Magajia, the heir apparent. Suitors came from every neighboring kingdom, powerful men, wealthy men, each one offering the same deal: marry me and share my strength. She refused them all, every single one. Now, the obvious question is why? Why would a princess walk away from the safety of a royal marriage? The answer isn't romance, and it isn't stubbornness. It's something far more calculated. We'll come back to it, because to see her logic, you first have to see what happened the moment she took the throne. Her mother died. Then her brother took the throne, and he died too, within a few short years. And so, around 1576, Amina became the Sarauniya, the Queen of Zazzau. Most new rulers spend their first year consolidating, securing loyalty, playing it safe. Amina went to war in 3 months. She understood something the men before her had missed. Zazzau was rich, but its wealth came from trade routes it did not control. Caravans of gold, salt, cloth, and kola nuts passed through lands ruled by rival kings, who taxed every load. She decided that would end. For the next 34 years, Amina did not stop. She led her cavalry across the region campaign after campaign, bending city after city to Zazzau. She didn't just win battles, she held territory, which almost no one at the time could do. And here is her genius, the thing military historians still point to. After every conquest, she ordered her soldiers to build a wall, a massive, fortified earthwork, around each captured camp and city. Those walls became known as Ganuwar Amina, Amina's walls. Some of them still stand today. 4 centuries of rain, war, and time, and they endure. Now, back to that question. Why did she refuse to marry? Because Amina understood exactly what marriage would cost her. In her world, a husband would not have been a partner. He would have been her ruler. Her armies would become his. Her walls, his. Her decisions, his to overrule. She didn't reject marriage because she feared men. She rejected it because she refused to hand over the one thing she had spent her whole life building: control. Every no to a suitor was a yes to her own crown. If a queen who ran an empire with total control 400 years ago is the kind of story you want more of, that's the entire reason this channel exists. We decode the rulers history tried to erase every week. Subscribing keeps them coming. Now, about the legend that made her famous and infamous. There is a story about Amina that has followed her for centuries. According to legend, in every city she conquered, Amina would take a lover for a single night and have him executed at dawn so that no man could ever claim to have possessed the queen. Now, is it true? Honest answer, historians don't know. It may be fact. It may be a tale invented by later rivals to stain the memory of a woman too powerful to accept. That's the thing about a woman who broke every rule. The people who came after her got to decide how she'd be remembered. But whether the legend is true or not, it tells you something real. Even her enemies could not imagine Amina as anything less than completely, dangerously in command. Under Amina, Zazzau reached the largest size in its history. She forced the surrounding kingdoms to pay tribute. She seized control of the trade routes she had once been taxed on and turned Zazzau into the gateway of commerce for the entire region. Gold from the south, salt from the desert, her kingdom now sat at the center of it all. She is even credited with popularizing the kola nut trade across West Africa, a crop that would remain a currency of value for generations. For 34 years, a woman who was never supposed to hold a sword ran one of the most powerful economies in Africa. Amina died around the year 1610, by most accounts on campaign, still fighting, still expanding, a ruler to her last breath. And then came the part she couldn't control. The empires that wrote the history books had no interest in a Hausa warrior queen. Her walls were left off the maps. Her name was left out of the textbooks. For centuries, the woman who built an empire was reduced to a footnote or a myth. But the walls never fell. And the story survived, passed down, refusing to disappear. So what does a queen who died 400 years ago have to teach us now? This: Amina understood that power you hand to someone else is power you no longer own. Every person in her life offered her security in exchange for control, and every time she chose control. Not because it was easy, because it was hers. We remember the conquerors of Europe by name. We were taught to forget her. That was a choice someone made, and it's a choice we can unmake, one story at a time. She chose war over marriage. She chose her crown over her comfort. And 400 years later, her walls are still standing, while the men who doubted her are dust. Her name was Amina of Zazzau. Now you won't forget her either. If this is the history you were never taught, there's a new one every Monday and Friday. The rulers, the strategists, the empires they left out of the books. Hit subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.